Welcome friends, Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana. Some more shlokas are there in this 55th Sarga, explaining exhaustively about the Marana, Varnana, then Samsara is equal to again how we travel through various lokas, come back onto the earth. Thampada exhaustively explained. Now Tat about Ishvara or the total general creation about that is explained. Then the Ishvara only takes the Jiva Rupa, that also is told. And then in the beginning of first creation, whenever it was, it started like that, it is going on like that, it will go on like that. Said. Then still we have an option to eject out of this cycle of creation. In total, cycle of Janma Marana at individual level. The ones who realize the Adhisthana Brahma, for them both the total creation as well as individual cycle of birth and death bondage will not be there. Still, he has a choice again to take upadhi and serve if he wants. In such explanations, discussions, there is nothing to question, but this is how it is. We have to understand and accept. That's it. Why for everything? Why should there be a question? And many things can be just like that accepted. It solves the thing. It helps also. Not that because we inquire everything that we are intelligent. No need. There are many things which need not be known. Just abide by it. That is sufficient. Okay. Let us see. Om. 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 Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Hunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha ऋषिभ्यो Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah. ओम यैरिमे गुरुवि पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्व वेदांताः सच्चास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. ओम श्री राम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने. ओम ब्रह्मानंदं परम सुखदम्. ओम परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषत् योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यमोदेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न शाश्वत समूल निर्मूल पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयाः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रतिभक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थमनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थमयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः. ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः. ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः. स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भौमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमधुरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ सदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं भैरविगलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्रपरब्रह्मणे नमः। वसिष्ठादऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्रीयोगवासिष्ठमहारामायण शास्त्रं तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणे लीलोपाख्याने आख्याने मरण संसार वर्णनं नाम पञ्चपञ्चाशत्तमः सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच श्रीदेवी उवाच। So when Prabuddha Leela asked, Adi Sarge Yatha Devi Brahma Esha Pravartate Tatha Kathayame Bhuyaha Prasadat Bodha Vruddhaye. In the Adi Sarga, how this Jagat Brahma started? Can you tell? Clear? Now here she is carrying the defect of a Jiva to Ishvara. We explained yet. In our case, because we don't know reality, then we project and we take the projected as reality. That is called as Brahma. In case of Ishvara, he is using his Maya Shakti to project on himself this world. Point one. Two, he is not forgetting his essential self. Three, the projected thing is not taking as reality. Four, therefore he is not bound, conditioned by that. Therefore, it is not his Brahma. It is not his Brahma, it is his Leela. That's why he is not bound and we are bound. ईश्वर में हमें ये फर्क थोड़ा समझ के रखना. Then while answering this question, Sri Devi Vacha, at the very outset, Mother says, whatever you see, it is for the Ishvara, from the Ishvara standpoint, it is solid Paramatma Vastu only. Keep that in the background. So what she says, Paramartha Ghanam Shailaha, all mountains are that reality alone. Paramartha Ghanandrumaha, all trees and forests are the solid Paramatma Vastu only. Paramartha Ghanam Prithvi, the entire Bhumi is nothing but the solid Parabrahma Tattva only. Paramartha Ghanannavaha, the entire Akash also is nothing but Shuddha Paramatma. In this way appearing by his Maya Shakti, by his Sankalpa, for his Leela and for our also eking out our Sukha Dukkha, giving us the opportunities to work and for us to realize the self, for us to do sadhana, for so many purposes, this projected world is in front of us, for so many jivas. Among that, so many things may not be understood by us, but few things if we understand and work out, that is sufficient for us. What are the few things? That we are the jiva, we are with the upadhi. With nirupadika sthiti, we can realize our oneness with Chidakasha, then the moksha comes. Other things, slowly you increase your buddhi shakti and try to understand. Understood or not understood, farak nahi padta. If you understand, you can serve the world better. If not, you are in your own mukta sthiti. You can serve with whatever capacities you have. Yourself realize the self. Okay. Sarvatmakatvat sayatah yatodeti chidishvaraha paramakasha shuddhatma tatra tatra bhavet tatha. So, chid ishvaraha. Chid is pure consciousness. That is his essential nature. He has his Maya Shakti. Of Maya is he is Ishvara. With Maya only everything happens. Therefore, he is the Ishvara of everything through Maya. Such Chidishvara, Sarva Atmakatvat. Sarva Atmakatvat means being himself as the self of all. Yataha Yatha Udeti. Wherever, with his Sankalpa, in whatever the Rupa, you want to appear. Like ऊपर बताया ना, शैलाहा द्रुमाहा पृथ्वी नभः. In that way, tatra tatha bhavet. In that form, he appears. Who is he? Parama Akasha Shuddha Atma. This should be held. Atma Supreme. Akasha Chidakasha. Shuddha, pure, immaculate. In him neither duality is real, nor there is only any avidya. That's called as Shuddha. And he is the Atma of himself, he is the Atma of everyone. So Parama Akasha Shuddha Atma Chidishvaraha Sarva Atmakatvat Yataha Yatha Udeti Saha Tatra Tatha Bhavetu. This is a very, very powerful thought it is to be contemplated upon, understood, accepted. Like in our own house, we keep the things wherever we want. We can change them. It is our house. And we wear any dress, lungi pehno, knicker pehno, full pant pehno. It's our house we do. So too the Ishvara is Sarvagnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapakaha, Maya Adipati, Sarvatma, wherever, in whatever the way thinks, that way the world, he appears as the world. Okay, continuation. Sargadau, that's how the Adi Sarga mein, Swapna Purusha Nyayena Adi Prajapati. That Adi Prajapati, the first of the creator, Brahmadeva, who is none but Paramatma only, with his creative power now is called as Brahmadeva, Sargadav, Swapna Purusha Nyayena. Swapna Purusha Nyaya means in the Swapna Purusha and the Swapna Jagat are different. That Swapna Purusha is eking out his Sukha Dukkha Vidya Vastus Vyaktis of the Swapna Jagat in various paristhiti. But actually, the whole world of things and beings and himself, all of them are nothing but the thoughts, the concepts on the Jagrat mind only. All the Jagrat mind only because of vasanas projected as the Swapna Jagat with all its varieties. This is called as Swapna Purusha Nyaya. In the same way, same Paramatma only, Sargadau Swapna Purusha Nyayena, that Adi Prajapati, what did it? Yathasputam Prakachitaha. Whatever he has conceived. Prakachanam means conception, thinking. Yathasputam Prakachitaha. In whatever the way he crystal clearly conceived. Tatha, in that way, Adya Api, even now, Stitaha Stitihi, everything is there in that way. Whenever it happened in the first of creation, whatever the prakachanam he has done, it should be like this. That way he thought, it is like that. So be it, it's called as. May it be so. That is the thing. Yatha sputam prakachitaha tata adhyapi stita stiti. That means nobody can dare the plans of Ishvara, the things made by Ishvara. Wherever human beings are doing, it is Ishvara's permission. उनका परमिशन है तो कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. So, in this way, the above said things, that the mountains, the Nabha, Akasha, the Vrikshas, etc., all of them in that way should be there. Like that he thought, then he appeared like that. This is a very massive thought, huh? Very powerful, very massive. Very powerful means bigger than big thought. That in the Samudra Rupena, by his choice, he only is appearing. In the Akasha Rupena, in the Prithvi Rupena, in the Jagat, Jungle ke Rupena. These are the four examples given. Jungle, Shaila Rupa, Prithvi and Navaha. Pahad, Prithvi. Akash, Jungle. He alone is appearing. That is how he thought. Yathas Pudam Prakachita. In whatever the way he conceived. It is like that only, even now. That means we need not question about it. With this, whatever utilization is there, use it for your survival. misuse mat karo usko. Then, same time, go beyond that, transcend that to see the substratum. And remember, whenever we say this sentence, transcendency substratum, million times we may say, but still understand that the transcendental truth is understood within us first. Our own anatma upadhi par karke, within us when we have the atma jnana, then only outside we have the jnanam of the substratum of the world. It's called as Brahma jnana. Next, prathamosau pratispandaha padarthanam hi bimbakam. See, first prataspanda padarthanam, it is bimba rupa. The first expression of Ishvara is called Ishvara Srushti. Thereafter, again Ishvara himself either creates or modifies as per the choice or requirement of the jivas. Or jivas themselves with the given Shakti and freedom, whatever they try to manipulate the things, all of that is Pratibimba. So Bimba Rupa Srishti is Ishvara Leela. In that Ishvara alone is everywhere. Pratibimba is the Jiva Kalpana. It is Mithya. So Pratamaha Asau Pratispandaha Padarthanam Hi Bimbakam. Then Pratibimbitam Etasmat Yat Tat Adya Api Samstitam. In the same way, after the Bimba done, the Pratibimba done by Ishvara or Pratibimba done by Jiva with the permission of Ishvara, even now it is going on, going on. Even in future also, many Pratibimbas can come. Like out of wood we make furniture now. It's not that we only are making furniture in the modern world with the wood. Even Raja Maharaja कालों में लकड़ी से ही वो लोग वो भी बनाते थे. So the tree creation by the Lord, if you say it as Bimba, then the chairs and doors made out of that wood is called Pratibimba. So the Sambhavana of Pratibimba in the Bimba, you know, as per the requirement of the Jiva, made by the Lord, as by the desire of the Jiva, made by the Jiva with the permission of Lord. That also continues. That's called Pratibimba. Like today's science. How much it has discovered. It's all Pratibimba. Again, in future, what's going to happen, we don't know now, but all of that is Pratibimba. Sambhavana hai wo. Itna samajh liya. Then, how some of the beings are active with their sense organs, though living. Other are living, but no, sorry, with living. Others are living but not active. Like the trees. They are alive, but they don't have the sense organs to respond. If you call a tree, it won't respond. Human beings respond. Even Pashu Pakshi also वाह सुनकर respond करते हैं. How the Indriya functioning is happening in them. Chaitanya is there, therefore life is there, but Indriyas are not there, therefore non-functional. How Indriyas are functioning, how they are not there in other beings. So Manusha Pashu Pakshi mein how the senses are there functional, not in the trees. ये आंसर यहाँ दे रहे कि यन्नाम सुशिरम स्थानम देहानाम तद्गतः अनिलः. So there are the sushira sthana apertures of the nose and ears, etc. Tadgataha anilaha. That air going inside from those nostrils, apertures, karoti anga parispandam, makes the movement of all the limbs, especially in Manusha Pashu Paksha. As long as that is there, Jiva iti uchyate tadaha. Then he is called as Jivati iti uchyate. He is alive, it is said. Which is already said some 15 shlokas back. When the Varnanam is done, that the Vayu outer is outer, inner and inner. So Vayu Avajahi stopped. Accordingly, the Chitta Spandana, then the Nadi Spandana stopped. Therefore, the functioning of all the faculties stops. He is called as dead and gone. Then the one who goes, the Jiva, his Gati, both were told in which path he goes. And then he goes to Yamalok first. From there, after the Papa Punya accounting is done, he is sent to different worlds. That was told. Same thing here. Ki through the apertures, when the Anila goes inside Vayu, it makes. Okay. Tadgata Anilaha Karoti Anga Parispanda. And then science to some extent, yogis to most extent, they understand how the air outside is the Paramatma himself. Namaste, namaste vayo, namo brahmane, namaste vayo, tvameva pratyaksham brahmas. That when it comes to a zone near to our aura, whoever we are, that outer air slowly starts becoming prana. एक ऑरा होता है हमारे चारों तरफ, एक सटल सूक्ष्म, उससे बाहर वो वायु. Once it comes, slowly we get related to it, it gets related to us. Slowly, main one through the nostrils when it goes inside. All, once it touches the heart or the chest portion of it, it fully becomes prana. The vayu becomes shwasa, shwasa becomes prana. Then that prana, you know, through these nadis, which are sukshma nadi, not stula, which are seen by the medical doctor. No, sukshma nadis hote hain. Through that, to every cell, that prana shakti goes. With that prana shakti, only each of the cell is alive and is responding to the blood circulation and the food that is coming through the blood, etc. Required, not required, receiving, not receiving, all of that. So that prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, then kurma, krukala, devadatta, naga, dhananjaya, they are called upapranas. Then there are thousands and thousands ways the pranas take the positions, shapes and work. All pranamaya. Like one electricity takes so many forms. Everything electricity mayam. The coolers, the heater, the grinders, the bulbs, the fans, the ACs. एक बिजली ही इतने में से जाकर अलग अलग एक व्यक्त हो रहा है कि नहीं. In the same way, the prana shakti se hi, the eyes are seeing, ears are listening, all of that, which was said in the above sloka also, and in all the Upanishads we see when these indriyas fight with each other, who is great among us. Then each one think they are great, then Mukhya Prana comes and says, I am great than you, all of. They don't agree. Then the Prana tries to go out. When he is going out, all also are going out. Like the queen bee goes, all other bees follow. And in Prashna Upanishad we saw, then all of them agree Prana to be greatest. So they do the Namaskara, they do Pranam. Same we see in a Chandogya Upanishad. Ki each of the Indriya goes for one year, one after the other. When that comes back, they say, without me, how did you alive? They say, तुम्हारे नहीं रहने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. We have continued. But when the prana wants to go, then they say, please don't go. If you go, we cannot be alive. These are all the things to indicate to us that the prana shakti is the Paramatma which is expressing as giving us life. The life, buddhi is working, mind is working, all indriyas are working because of prana shakti. Prana shakti comes to us through bhojana taken for gross people. For subtler people, yogis, from the vayu directly they take, they become vayu bhakshaka. Through the vayu only, all energies they gain. They don't need to eat the gross food. कोई योगी 100 साल से भोजन नहीं किया, अरे कैसे जी रहे? अरे he is getting the energy direct from prana. So prana is life, prana is energy. So that's how yan nama sushiram sthanam dehanam sushiram sthanam, especially the nostrils, the holes, tad gataha anilaha karoti anga parispandam. The air gone through that inside does its own anga parispandana. Moves, it activates, enlivens and makes work. The anga pratyanga. So that prana makes eye to see, ear to listen, etc. So to inside, the kidneys functioning, liver functioning, the digestive system, all of them are prana. That is why you see prana goes away, every one of them stop like bijli thap hote hi, all electrical things stop. And that prana dhyana is one of the greatest sadhanas. Not only pranayama, that is very grossest at LKG level, where you do puraka, kumbhaka, rechaka, very grossest initial sadhana it is. But how the prana entering inside and functioning at every level, that meditation. With that also people have realized the self. Through prana dhyana, Paramatma can be realized. In Gita, in the yajnas, apane juhati pranam prane panam tatha pare pranapana gati rudva pranayama parayanaha avare netaharaha pranan pranenu juhati sarve pete yajnavida yajnakshabda, all that we see. Prana dhyana. We are absolutely not aware of it. How the inhaling happening, exhaling happening. In fact, one meditates on prana to a great extent, all other faculties, he can start controlling. Because everything depends on prana. So prana ayamanam and prana dhyanam is a big sadhana. Some yogis through that they reach to Paramatma because prana is Paramatma. Oh, then sargadau evam eva esha jangameshu stita stiti. In the beginning of creation only, the apertures are made. Into that the prana enters. It activates the limbs. They do the work with the limbs. With the legs, they walk with the hands. They work with the mouth. They talk, etc. Sargadau eva. In the beginning of first creation only, this setup was conceived by that Ishvara. Jangameshu stita stiti in all the living mobile things. So living immobile are trees. Living and mobile are Manusha Pashu Pakshi. How they are mobile, how their limbs are functioning, how they are responding to the outer world. Trees are not responding. They respond to the sunlight, water, etc. But to other talking, walking, they don't respond. ये कारण है. Sargadau evameva yesha jangameshu stita stiti. Through the apertures, the prana goes and enlivens the faculties in Manusha Pashu Pakshi. That is not there in the trees. Otherwise, trees also are Chetana Yukta. Now, this is Stavara Jangama Chetana Farak difference bola. अभी जड़ चेतन का भी वैसा ही डिफरेंस है. वेरी सटल थॉट इट इज. चेतना अपि निस्पंदाः तेनैते पादपादयः. So these trees etc. are chetana happy. They are alive but nispandaha. They don't respond because of the pranavayu not going and enlivening the limbs in that. Therefore, limbs also are not there, hands, legs, etc. Or like the graphics design में कहते हैं, तो hands, the branches can be the hands. From the trunk, the eyes and nose can protrude for the tree to smell and see. If that facility is there, it is not there. That is how Lord made creation. That is the way it is required to be. In another way, a jiva only goes into that yoni. After finishing, you only become Manusha, Pashu, Pakshi, etc. वो डिफरेंट है. कर्म कर्म फल से स्थावर जंगम योनि में जाना अलग टॉपिक. यहाँ the Leela's question is about the Adi Srishti. No? So this is how the Bhagavan made. It is the Niyati. It is like that. So it's not that in the good olden days trees were talking, walking and not now. Aisa nahi. In the beginning only it was made like that. And it's not that that time the human beings and Manush, Pashupaksh were not walking. Nowadays only they are walking or their limbs are working. Aisa nahi. It's there right from beginning. So next one. Chetana api nispandaha tena ete padapadeha. So Chetana api, even though they are alive, nispandaha, non-responding are the padapaha trees. Next. Chidakashoyamevamsham kurute chetanoditam sa eva samvid bhavati shesham bhavati naiva tatu. Again. What about the Jiva Bhava arrival? Jada Chetana mein. Earlier Chetana only, but something is Spandana doing, something is not doing Spandana, not responding. Now, Jiva himself, Jiva Bhava himself, who is alive, active, becomes aware of himself, tries to know the world. That Jiva also, Chidakasha Ayam Eva. This pure Chidakasha, conscious space only, Amsham Kurute Chetana Uditam. A part of it, it makes the Jiva, the Ahamvrutti enlivened, which he becoming Jnata, etc., he becomes the knower and he becomes the living being. Sa eva sambit bhavati. That Ahamvrutti mein Paramatma ka Avirbhav he makes the Aham, the knower, And he the one knows. Samvid bhavati means he become knower and doer and enjoyer. Shesham bhavati naivatat. Other faculties, endeavored by Chaitanya only, doing their functions, but not independently, not independent of Jiva. Like my eye is seeing. Without Paramatma, they cannot. And an eye of a morupanka or an eye painted on the wall, that won't see. My eye sees. But do you mean to say the eye is seeing independently? No. For the Jiva that is given, he is seeing through the eye. See the position of the eye, enlivened by consciousness, given the power to see by consciousness. But he is not independent. समझ गए ना? सारे इंद्रियां इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है. शरीर, प्राण, मन, इंद्रियास, even buddhi, they all belong to jiva, isn't it? Otherwise person is dead, still his legs are walking, hands are moving. Then the eyes are opening and watching it. Everybody who is not crying, this fellow is not crying when I dead na. When he dies and comes, then I'll take a class for him. देख रहा है, मैं मरा हूं फिर भी देख रहा हूं, ऐसा होता है क्या? फिर भी आंख देख रहा है. This is a very crucial topic. That though Indriyas also are projected on Chetana, therefore Chetana Amsha is there in Indriyas, giving them their respective functionality, yet they are not independent. So, Chidakashoyameva Amsham Kurute Chetana Uditam. So, it's the Chidakasha Amsa only making, reflecting in the Chit Ahamriti, making him the knower, doer. For him to know and do, the faculties are there. Faculties respond for his call or want to, so they do those works. So he says, oh legs, let me walk. The legs walk. Okay, for the sake of him, the legs are walking. But in the leg, the walking Shakti is given by Chaitanya Paramatma. So, Chidakashoyameva Amsham Kurute Chetanoitam Sa Eva Samvid Bhavat. He is only the knower, the Jiva, Shesham Bhavati Naivatat. The other faculties do not know by themselves. Like I know the body, body doesn't know me. I know my hands and legs, they don't know me. I know my mind, my mind doesn't know me. They don't have that way Chaitanya. They have ability to function for Jiva, who is the reflection of Chaitanya in the Amrit. Okay, this another topic is clearly put in front of us. Okay, next comes uh, so the other things are functioning but not Chetana Yukta, or Chetana expressing them to function in their respective faculties way, but they are not the Chetana in the sense knowers. Isn't it? Only the Jiva knows it. Now, such a Chidakasha Pratibimba called as Jiva now enters into Manushya Sharira. Naropadi Puram Praptam. Nara Upadi Puram. Naras Upadi, Manushya body, Manushya Sharira is like a Pura. Praptam, having entered Chetati Akshiputam Nayatu. That Jiva Bhava only enters into each of the faculties. One of them is eyes. Then the eye is able to see. If the Jiva has not entered or not there, I won't see independently. Therefore, tattasya na akshi, tattasya. That akshi belongs to the jiva for him to see. Na akshi chit jivam, no jivatyeva sargataha. So right from the beginning, these faculties are for the jiva, they don't function by themselves. So, okay. Uh, so that aham vritti with the enlivenment now is an over and experience entering the Manusha Sharira, and in the Manusha Sharira there are Indriyas. Through the Indriyas, he is becoming the Karta Bhokta. So, what about the Indriyas functioning themselves? No. Usme Paramatma making them function in their respective way. But they don't do work for themselves. They are not that way independent. Therefore, all the Indriyas independently not alive by their own way. What it means is, therefore, if Chaitanya Paramatma is expressing through beings in something or the other, Chidakash, that doesn't mean that all of them independently work. Only the worker is Jiva Bhava. Ahamurti ka hona avashyak hai. If not, then the every of the objects in this world, whatever they are, the Ghatapata Adi, they are also Aropita on Chaitanya Paramatma. So in them also Chaitanya is there, then they also should function. No? No, like that Indriyas also. No, therefore, only one, the Jiva is the one to whom all these Saru, or he is the only one using them to take out his own Sukha Dukha. Then comes Yad Yatha sorry, Tatha Kham Kam, Tatha Bhumihi, Bhuvitvena, Apsuvat Jalam. So this Paramatma himself is, as she asked the question, and in between Bhagavan touched, or Saraswati Mata touched, she is continuing the topic. Tatha Kham Kham. So in the form of Akasha, he is there. Tatha Bhumihi, in the form of Bhumi, Paramatma alone is there. Huh? Uh, Bhumitvena, Akash ka Akasha, Bhumi ka Bhumi, Apsu Apsuvat Jalam, the water in the water. Yad Yatha Chetati Svairam, na tadveti eva tata vapuhu. So he, in whatever the way himself wanted to express, he expressed with its functions. Water flows down. So in that way, as a water and its nature, as a space and its nature of giving accommodation to the things, as a fire and the burning power. In that way, Paramatma in the beginning of creation himself appeared like that out of his own thought. Therefore, it is appearing. So, first is in the Chetana beings, some do the response Spandana, others are not doing. That is explained the reason the Sushira Pranavai. Jada Chetana also is told. Then only in the Ahamvrutti the Paramatma Chetana reflects. And he only entering into the Sharira at various faculties, he functions, not the Indriyas by themselves, that also told. Having told this, now again the subject or camera is shifted to the total. That same Paramatma only, Akasha with its Avakasha Lakshana, Vayu with its flowing Lakshana, Jala with its going down Lakshana, Agni with burning power and going up, Bhumi to support all of us. In that way, he conceived like that. Therefore, he is started to be like that even now. It is Paramatma's Sankalpa to be like that. So, iti yad yatha chetati svairam tadvayati eva tata vapuhu. So, by himself, in whatever the way he conceives, he appears like that. For his own creation. For him to have that creation. उन्होंने सृष्टि को ऐसा सोचा, ऐसा बनाया. वो उसके लिए, उनके लिए उसमें आनंद है और हम सबके लिए उससे उपयोग है. इति सर्व शरीरेण. In this way, in all the bodies, Jangamatvena Jangamam. Wherever living and mobile, it is the play of him. Stavaram Stavaratvena. Then living but not moving. So to moving but not living, like tree that winds and rivers, and not moving and not living are the mountains. So mountains are Jada and Sthavara. Trees are Chaitanya and Sthavara. Rivers are and winds are Jada and Jangama, moving. Manusha Pashu Pakshi are Chaitanya and Jangama. Jangama means mobile. Chaitanya means alive, responding to. So Jada, Chaitana, Sthavara, Jangama. Sentient and insentient, mobile and immobile. Combination, four things are there. Ana? Jada and immobile is one. Jada and mobile is another one. Immobile and Jada is the third one. Mobile and Chaitanya is fourth one. है ना? Jada and mobile, the rivers. Jada immobile, mountains. Chaitanya mobile, Manusha Pashu Pakshi. Chaitanya immobile, trees. In that way, Paramatma conceived creation. It is like that. उनको आप प्रश्न नहीं पूछ सकते. भावयन स्थितः. ओके. तस्मात् यत् जंगमम नाम तत् स्वबोधन रूपवत् तेन बुद्धम ततस्तत्वत् तत्तदेवाद्यापि संस्थितम्. So in this way, the Jangama also with his own plan in the beginning of creation, he made like that, and it is there like that even now. It's all niyati. So about the Srishti, the niyati vakya man mein rakho. That's how the Ishvara with his Ananta Maya Shakti, by his choice appearing like that. You and I as Jiva also are given by the Lord all the abilities. With them misused, we can get bound, or with rightly using them and transcending them, we can get moksha. Focus on that which is required by you and in your hands. बाकी सब जितना भी सोचो वो तुम्हारा दिमाग वो सब समझ नहीं सकता. It's very limited. Therefore, यद्वृक्षाविदमाबुद्धं स्थावरत्वेन वै पुनः जड़मद्यापि संसिद्धं शिलातरुतृणादि च. Therefore, the vrikshadi, though chetana, as but as thavara. So to jadam adhyapi samsiddham is shila taru trunadi. So the mount, the what you call them, the mountains, etc. and sthavara and jada, it is his idea. So is Paramatma there in the mountains, in the rivers, in the trees? First answer is yes, he has to be. Because he being Sarvavyapaka. And he only appeared in the form of all of them. Then Paramatma being Chetana Sarupa, why all of them are not expressing the life? For two reasons. When the apertures are not there, the prana is not gone to annihilate them. Second, the Jiva Bhava is not there. सो जीव भाव होना है परमात्मा चैतन्य को रिफ्लेक्ट करके कॉन्शियस एंटिटी होने के लिए, और प्राणवायु जाना है इंद्रियों का फंक्शनिंग के लिए. They are not there, and that is how it is made. And when it is that like that, then only it is useful in that particular place like that. Like मेरे हाथ इधर क्यों है, ऐसे क्यों है? See, अगर ऐसे हैं इधर है तभी जाकर आप वॉकिंग कर सकते हो, हाथ से काम वगैरह कर सकते हो. अदरवाइज इट इज कंफ्यूजन. व्हाट परमात्मा मेड इन आवर बॉडी, एवरी लिम्ब अपनी जगह पे, वैसा रहने से ही उसका वो इंटैक्ट रहता है. लाइक व्हेन यू से व्हाई टू हैंड्स यू पुट ऑन द चेयर, व्हाई द बैक, व्हाई बैठने वाला जगह चार पांव क्यों लगा? अरे ऐसा करो तभी यू कॉल इट एज चेयर एंड यूजफुल फॉर सिटिंग. नो, थिंक अबाउट इट. इट इज द लाइक दैट. अब उस पे क्या सवाल पूछते हैं कुछ लोग ना, दे गेट फैसिनेटेड एंचेंटेड बाय देयर क्वेश्चनिंग, प्रश्न करना, एंड दे थिंक दे आर इंटेलिजेंट. अबे इतने ज्यादा प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं तो उतना बेवकूफ है. यू डोंट नो दैट देयर इज नथिंग टू आस्क. इट इज लाइक दैट सृष्टि. ओनली वन थिंग इज टू बी आस्क्ड, हाउ एम आई बाउंड, हाउ टू गेट लिबरेटेड. बाकी प्रश्नों का जवाब मिल भी जाए क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वी आर स्टिल बाउंड, नो, whether you know or not other things, our bondage won't go. Therefore, think and ask about those things by which, when you get the knowledge, our bondage goes away. So, tasmat yad jangamam nama tat svabodhana roopavat. And then, uh, okay, Natu, no, the very important one sloka we say today, tomorrow remaining, tomorrow we'll conclude the sarga. Natu jadyam prutak kinchid astina picha chetanam. See, there's nothing called as jada, nothing called as chetana, independent and opposite to each other and other than Paramatma. Paramatma himself is jada chetana guna dokshamaya vishwakinna kartara. There is nothing called as jada and chetana different from the adhisthana standpoint. अधिष्ठान ही अपने आप को ऐसा एक्सप्रेस करने का चुन लिया. इन द जड़ा इज जड़ा, इन द चेतना इज चेतना. दैट्स हाउ हर सृष्टि इज रिक्वायर्ड. If everything is jada, then for whose sake you make the world? Then if everything is chaitanya, then you cannot sit on chair. Chair भागेगा आपके साइज को देखकर. है कि नहीं? All jada starts running. You want to eat the food and plate वहां रखा, वो प्लेट अपने आप चला गया, सिंक में बैठ गया वो. कैसा रहेगा वो? So for the play of world to happen, jada chaitanya difference is required. The chaitanya plays in the jada. That's how he made. Otherwise, from the adhisthana drishti, na to jadyam prutak kinchid asti, na apicha chetanam. Neither chetana is special and other than Paramatma, nor jada is less special and other than Paramatma. Both are play. Then na atra bhedosti sargadau satta samanya kenacha. So From his substratum standpoint also, there is no difference. Because for both of them, Sadvastu only substratum. From the expression standpoint, you need not specially give any extra value to anything because both are his kalpana. है कि नहीं? जब कल्पित है उसमें कंपैरिजन कैसे हो सकता? सत्य में कंपैरिजन हो सकता है. सत्य में you can't compare because only one satya. You have to have two things to compare and say something is better, other is not. So in this way, Jada Chetana, Adhisthana Drushti say one satta only, therefore there is no difference. On that one Sadvastu, the Jada Chetana are Kalpita. In Kalpita, you cannot have comparison and say something is great, something less great. फिर भी in the Vedanta, in sadhana, Chaitanya being near to Paramarthika Tattva, we are told to attend to the Chaitanya Tattva. That takes us to pure consciousness, which is beyond even Chaitanya. Chaitanya means the ability to know, etc., respond, etc. So our goal is to reach to that Sadvastu, which itself is consciousness, which in some it expresses as life as well as response, in other it doesn't express, which we call as Jada. That is all right from the beginning, the creation is going on. In that way, see the subtle knowledge Mother Saraswati is revealing. Some more we have to study. Tomorrow we'll see. Thank you. Om Purnamadaha. Bol Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Dhanyavad. That's wonderful. Little of Tulsi Ramayana also we'll study.